Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on the 1 day time frame here for Bitcoin. Currently, we are still breaking out to the upside, potentially about to reach this 80,000 US dollar price target for Bitcoin. And yes, so long as we hold above this previous all-time high here that was created in around March earlier this year, I am still long-term bullish for Bitcoin. Now, in the case that we do actually break below that previous all-time high, again at about 73.5K, it doesn't have to mean that we get a full-on like crazy crash to the downside going to 40K or something like that. It could even just be a little bit of a pullback after that before then resuming to the upside. As far as I'm concerned, so long as we do not trade below 66.5K, then Bitcoin is still just targeting 80,000 US dollars. I do think the chances of us hitting this at some point is very likely. Now, besides that, on this 4-hour time frame, we still have a bit of a bearish divergence here in the charts. So we got very close to actually invalidating this bearish divergence. However, we did not fully invalidate it, and therefore it is still technically active. In the case that you're not familiar with what a bearish divergence is, it is whenever we have higher highs in the Bitcoin price and lower highs in the RSI momentum indicator. Typically, a bearish divergence points towards a break from all of this bullish price action that we have been seeing here recently. So either in the form of some choppy sideways price action, or perhaps even some bearish momentum in the short term. And even though this is currently perfectly playing out in the charts, as you can see right here, we're basically just chopping sideways. At the same time, I would say be very careful trying to short a move to the downside here, because we are in a high time frame uptrend. So even on this 4-hour time frame, this is in an uptrend. 1 day time frame in an uptrend. 1 week time frame also in an uptrend here. So even though in the immediate short term, this is pointing towards a bit of a break, potentially some bearish momentum, be very careful if you're trying to short a move to the downside like this, because this can literally turn around at any time and completely take you out of your short position there. Make sure that you know what you're doing if you actually want to try to take a short position here. Personally, I would not recommend it for the reasons I just stated. Like, even if you turn out to be correct and you get that little bit of a pullback, you still have to try to take profit at the right time. You still have to manage your risk all the way through. All the while, you have to be very cautious of just another crazy spike to the upside like this. So yeah, again, that is just something that I would like to warn about ahead of time, even though we have this bearish divergence in play here in the charts. In terms of expectations for over the weekend, right now, as we are heading into the weekend, it is looking like we are just going to get some more choppy sideways price action during the weekend, unless we get some crazy kind of news event come out. But so long as there isn't any major news event, I am just expecting some chop and expecting this bearish divergence to play out over the weekend. But of course, I will continue to analyze the charts every single day here, just in case some stuff changes in the markets here. Next, taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 48-hour time frame. Right now, you can see a typical situation that we have in a Bitcoin weekend where we see some chop. We have liquidity to the upside and to the downside right now. The first liquidity to the upside is at 76.9K, with above that, most of the liquidity to the upside being at 77.3K. And in terms of liquidity to the downside, the first big pocket of liquidity is sitting at about 75.5K. And the biggest pocket of liquidity to the downside is sitting all the way at 74.2K. So I do think these smaller pockets just above and just below the current price are the most likely to be taken out over the weekend. And then if we actually end up taking out a big pocket of liquidity to the upside or downside, then you could look towards this next level above or below as a next potential area of interest for Bitcoin. And no, just to be clear, because I can already read the comments, I'm not telling you that the price can go up or down. I am just telling you the areas of interest to keep an eye on over the weekend, okay? By the way, guys, being on the topic of comments, yesterday's comments, they were hilarious. Thank you so much for this, bro. It was a pleasure to read all of this. I laughed my ass off. I want to thank all of you guys who commented. It really made my day, and it was just hilarious to read all around. Now, if I zoom out to the 1 month time frame for this Bitcoin liquidation heat map, One thing that I like about what I'm seeing here is that there is now liquidity to the upside once again. So people have seen this little slowdown in the bullish momentum, and they're thinking like, yes, I need to start shorting this move right now. Of course, as you have seen over the last weeks or even months, the bears get punished over and over again, but they just like pain. So they keep shorting, they keep opening leveraged short positions and get liquidated over and over again. And I'm sure that eventually they will be right at some point. But the thing is, ideally, we have a lot of liquidity to the upside, because then it becomes most likely that we are going to pump further to the upside to punish more bears. Because in the case that you don't know, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity in this chart. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow table, yesterday we saw a net inflow of $1.4 billion into the Bitcoin ETFs, with BlackRock buying over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in a single day. And this is net buying pressure. So this is with all of the selling pressure already subtracted from the inflows. So obviously this is a massive day for the Bitcoin ETFs. In fact, this is the biggest inflow I have ever seen into the Bitcoin ETFs. And so long as the Bitcoin ETFs keep buying hundreds of millions of dollars, in this case over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin every single weekday, then obviously this is going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, thank you as well to all of you guys for being a part of this community. I really appreciate all of you watching these videos, as well as just being active inside the Discord community, helping each other and sharing your analysis as well. If you want to get access to the Road to 1 Million community on Discord, you can do so completely for free, simply with the link in the video description right here. But regardless, if you do end up joining or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.